We love having great advertisers support our show, but in order to continue doing that, we need your help. So please, won't you go to podsurvey.com/Pollak, that's P-O-L-L-A-K, and take a quick anonymous survey, anonymous, the key word, that will help us know you a little better. That way we can show advertisers just how great our listeners are. Even if you have taken our show's podcast listener survey before, you hear me? The current one is new and different. You follow? We'd really love your help on this one, so please. Once you've completed the survey, you can enter to win a $100 Amazon gift card. That's right, $100 Amazon gift card could be yours. Again, that's podsurvey.com/Pollak, P-O-L-L-A-K, the correct spelling. Thank you for your help. Welcome back to Kevin Pollak's Chat Show. Oddly, if not unacceptably, I am Chat Show. Unacceptably?
Yeah.
Is that a...
Why not?
It felt strange coming out.
You know what? It felt strange going in. And yet here we are.
Oh, what a wonderful show. Oscar Sunday, everybody. So exciting.
It is exciting.
The Oscars.
Yeah.
Now, this show is dropping for the earwolf for the audio audience post-Oscars.
Oh.
We already know who the winners are.
We sure do.
Let's celebrate them, shall we?
All right.
I can't believe, quite honestly, that
Casey
won for
Affleck.
Best
Mr. Black.
all the various gags that have been done on The Simpsons with that.
Mr. Black.
Mr. Black. So I'm gonna predict now.
Yeah, go for it.
And then we'll know instantly
Okay.
how horribly wrong I am.
Okay.
I'm gonna go because again we're trying to pick winner.
Sure.
Not my personal choice.
No, of course not. Winner.
Yeah. I like to pick the winners.
Obviously.
Jaden, you can come in this way. There we go. Very excited to get some help from Jaden.
Young Jaden.
Young Jaden. There
young
she
Jaden's
is.
on
Two shot. Go to the two. There she goes. So exciting.
Oh, okay, you missed it. She looked extra Jodie Sweetin-like today.
Oh man. La La Land.
So you're going La La Land
I'm
Best
going
Picture.
La La Land Best Picture.
All right.
And Best Director.
Oh, Damien Chazelle.
Really?
Best Screenplay.
Hidden Figures.
Strong.
Is that original or adapted?
It's adapted from
Yeah,
a
it's
book.
adapted.
Adapted Hidden
Right.
Figures is very strong.
Yep.
We'll talk about our guest in a moment about that. Manchester by the Sea, original screenplay.
Okay.
Who
Yeah.
wants to hear about the food I'm making?
Yes.
Made. So
Now,
this is
Jamie, the
fun.
reason I mentioned the Oscars is because you, as the annual tradition, will be preparing Oscar-nominated titled films, pun-based
Foods.
foods.
Foodstuffs.
Starting with
I'm making a lamb roast for La La Lamb.
La La Lamb. Yep, absolutely.
And this is my personal,
Don't give away the recipe.
and my personal favorite. I'm making ham chester by the pea soup.
Wow.
Ham-chester by the pea soup.
And for dessert, Jello high water.
Jello high water. Come on, people. And then there's another one we know of that what's
Jamie, I came up with lyonnaise potatoes.
lion.
But I'm already.
A's.
I do not host the party, so I can only bring so much. So I'm limiting myself at 3 dishes.
Right. And what is the other dessert that you helped along with the title, the pun title?
I don't know.
The Meryl Streep movie.
Oh, Bananas Foster Jenkins, like Forrest Foster Jenkins, Banana Foster. Yeah.
That's right.
That one.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm excited. I look forward to that.
I look forward to most of our guests or most of our listeners hearing this after the Oscars have happened.
Yeah, and wondering how is this still a? Let's talk about the Super Bowl now.
Okay, let's do it.
Can't believe that, Tom Brady. We'll come to you live from the West Side Comedy Theater. If you're ever in the Los Angeles area, go ahead and do yourself a solid and look up the westsidecomedy.com site for all the various shows. Tonight, for example, when we're doing this, Dana Carvey was here. He did 2 shows in February.
He did. He was last
Yeah,
Sunday.
he likes the Sunday show, the 7 o'clock Sunday show. But check the calendar. All kinds of amazing improv groups and sketch groups. We love the West Side Comedy Theater, and it means a great deal to us and should to you. You sons of bitches. Sammy?
Yeah, buddy.
Did your Hawaii 5-0 air?
It sure did.
And how did that go?
You know, I can talk about it now that it's aired.
Can you?
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, I don't see why not. It was fantastic. They pay me to fly out to Hawaii, make out with this beautiful woman, and then they kill me before the opening credits.
Now, when you say make out with this beautiful woman, was this in the show?
Yes,
Because old show business perks.
that's true.
There's a gal waiting in the double banger.
That's before my time.
I had
guess.
to update
I've
the
never
trailer reference.
I've never had such good fortune.
No?
No, but
He's
no.
lucky if he gets a fruit basket.
Yeah, it's true. No, they had to pay this particular young lady to make out with me, but it was great.
Let's talk about that for a moment. They literally paid a woman to make out with you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Send your cards and
I
letters.
don't know if that audible woo was Dooman or J-Mac.
Yeah, I think we have our answer.
Anyway,
Yes.
I believe it is still on CBS.com. You can find it on the on-demand and what have you, and on CBS All Access. Which, hey, for no one listening tonight, no, anyone listening right now, on CBS All Access soon is going to be The Good Fight.
The Good Fight, I think, drops tonight.
Tonight on CBS, but it is a CBS All Access
And then going
show.
directly for the following episodes of The Access, I played a judge in an upcoming episode.
You don't say!
I did.
What a coincidence I mentioned it.
The love. Hey, write to us, won't you? KPCSfanmail@gmail.com. KPCSfanmail@gmail.com. We want to know why you like the show and why you hate it. We want to hear from everyone. How do you take in the show? How do you do it? Do you do the earwolf? Do you watch us live? You can on most Sundays here on the YouTube channel. Upcoming guests, you ask? All right, settle the fuck down. How about Billy Bob Thornton, former co-star of our guest tonight? J.K. Simmons, Dave Keckner, Jason Alexander, Dave Coulier, Kevin Nealon, Rob Cordry, Fred Savage. The list goes on and on and on and on. Follow us at the KP Chat Show on the Twitter and the Facebook that I've never seen. That's about it. Subscribe to us on the YouTube. I think that's most of the business. Jamie, anything I'm forgetting as always?
I know, you were looking at me so, with such desperation, like I had extra information. Like you were trying to pull information out of me, and I'm
I
like,
feel
I don't
like
have
that's
anything.
true always. Like I'm forgetting everything.
Yes.
All right.
I've just accepted it.
I'm very excited for the return of our guest. She was at the old studio. This is a book that dropped in November, still available in every way you can get and read and enjoy a book. This is a collection of essays. Talking as fast as I can, please welcome its author, Lauren Graham. Lauren!
Wow.
I'm so excited to
Thanks.
talk about this.
Thanks.
Yes.
Yes.
Honestly and truly. Before I do, however,
Yeah.
with a personal connection to Jamie and one of her favorite films, is it possible, we didn't discuss this last time, that your father could have known Willy Wonka?
My dad was he's retired now,
Yes.
recently retired. It was the president of the National Confectioners Association, which is a group that represents candy and people who make candy and chocolate.
Represents them
In
like a lobbyist
it's like
kind of
a
thing?
lobbying group and like a member organization, and it has marketing aspects, it has lobbying aspects. But now,
So I think the answer is yes.
could he have known Willy Wonka, or is he indeed Willy Wonka himself? But now my father, in retirement, became a certified spinning instructor, went back to school to get his master's degree, is teaching, went to work as a consultant. Like, he's on fire. He can't be stopped. He's like the least retired person ever.
If I have a list of activities on one side and a list of ages of men and women on the other side, and I'm matching them, do I match your father to spinning instructor? Do we think?
Wait,
Is that a-
not. You wouldn't think so. You wouldn't think not. That wouldn't be your first choice. But he is.
Got to be well into his 60s.
He is, in fact, older than that. But he's incredibly fit. He used to cycle
Clearly.
to work every day, and he's just is an impressive guy.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah, which made him a great representative of candy and chocolate because he looked like someone who like never ate candy at all.
Like he had the metabolism of a ferret.
Which he does. Which he does.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
And an inspiration like that growing up?
Yeah, I mean, just metabolically speaking.
Yeah, metabolically speaking.
Yes. Just an inspiration in general. He's a very smart guy,
Right.
very nice guy, and great boss, and good to his employees and stuff. So
Put it out there,
He's a
you'll
good
get it
guy.
back.
Yeah.
Be a nice person.
Yeah.
How tough could it be?
Yeah.
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 That's great preparation for the business you have chosen. Because it's unnecessary
To be nice.
to be a nice person. And yet, I think it's helpful. Unbelievably so, not just in your life.
Yeah. Well, also in terms of managing groups of people and just keeping a cool head, and
Right.
there was not any volatility in our household, so it always confuses me when I'm met with it. I don't understand the level of emotion sometimes that comes up in what we do, because we're just telling stories on a little stage. It's like,
Why is everyone so upset?
yeah, why is everyone so upset? The money, I guess. People worry about being responsible for huge amounts of money and letting people down.
Yeah. Is this why, in fact, you've turned to writing?
The writing came partially out of what drives me in general as an actor, fear and anxiety.
Sure.
And having a stretch of time where I didn't know what was coming next. And
Right.
and so I just filled the time, and then it became a thing I owed people who were paying me. But it started as just an activity kind of for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started a mantra years ago that everyone in this room and people who are regular to the show have had it with already, but if you're not creating, you're waiting. And as an actor, it is waiting unless you get proactive in the whole thing.
It was also just kind of the way my brain works. I can only do so much, like going to Soul Cycle and I read a lot, but I just start kind of creating some,
Yeah.
and that's what happens at rest. Is I started coming up with. It's not always fun. It sounds like a brag, like I just can't keep still. My brain just keeps working. but it is. It's just sort of what happens.
And what is your process to jot down the idea when it pops into your head?
For a long time there wasn't one, and over time.
Just decided to test your memory on a regular basis?
Kind of. I keep a lot of it in my mind.
And how's that working out?
Kind of. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, I carry a notebook. I write things down.
Right.
I write things in the phone. But a lot just kind of. It's a weird process of cooking things in a way. Like that comes up if I'm driving, or it's not linear necessarily. It's not always there on command when I go to sit down to write, so I have to write it as it happens. But I've learned quite a bit, because I started with a novel I wrote, and that turned into an adaptation of that for television. I have had these different opportunities, and every time I do something else, I learned so much that I want to go back and redo all the stuff I've done already, because, writing, like acting, it's something frozen in time, but you could always keep revising it, if you were able. And so I've learned quite a bit, and from filmmaker John Roos, who's credited in my book, I finally learned a method after all these kind of trial and error.
A method as a writer.
Yeah, which I talk about in the book, and reprint these pieces of paper he gave me very generously, which is how he gets his work done, which is a variation of, it's called Kitchen Timer. But to me, the most vital and most difficult hurdle in writing is just getting out of your own way.
Absolutely.
and releasing yourself from, like, this has to be the greatest thing I've ever done.
In fact, the opposite is true of the first draft.
Exactly.
Accept that it's going to be shit, and you're going to rewrite it within an inch of its life.
My slogan, which I think I came up with, is "Don't be perfect, just be done," which is just get to the end of whatever it is.
That's fantastic.
And then
I throw up the first draft. Just throw it up.
Yeah, but it's very hard to do if you're when you're starting out. I think it's
impossible to do.
You're so embarrassed, as if anyone is looking at the first draft, as if anyone is.
No one will see it.
No one.
No one.
No one will, or no one should.
You're forced to.
Yes, exactly. And maybe that's it. It's like you're so horrified at your own.
When a day has
first
passed,
effort.
you wake up and start the next day. Do you go back and read what you wrote the night before, or do you just catch up with a paragraph and then?
It depends. I try not to go back. That's
So
a real
hard.
trap
Yeah.
because you'll just revise your first 30 pages over and over.
You've already started the rewriting process.
I just rewrote this conversation. But I try to look at it just to kind of place myself in time, but not go fix it yet. Pretty much that works. And what I've never done, which is probably terrible, but I don't outline anything, which in a book of essays is one thing. You know, I had the titles, so that became sort of an outline of a sort, but in structuring fiction or structuring a screenplay, having no outline is really a disaster, but that's just how I do it so far.
Yeah, I rarely use an outline also. I'll have an idea for a beginning, middle, and then sometimes just a beginning, and I want the end to evolve with what the story is. I don't always feel the pressure to know how it's going to end.
I think,
Unless sometimes some crazy ending comes to mind first, which has happened. And then I figure out how the hell am I going to get there, and then that becomes a ridiculous road.
I always write with an outline. I don't know when I write sketches. Because I figure out I figure out the beats.
Yeah.
And then I write those down. And
Well,
then
if I may, that's the way you're supposed to do it. No, we're crazy.
Yeah.
I'm very structured.
Yeah, it helps.
It does help.
Yeah, if you, what I'm attempting to write next, I'm trying to do an outline for the first time.
And what is
I'm
it?
spending a lot of time on that
On the outline?
And I'm starting to think, why? This is a lot of time.
Is it a screenplay or?
Yeah. Yeah, I just had this crazy idea, and I'm doing research beforehand, which is only something when I'm in the body of it. Do I find myself breaking away to do some research? I'm going about it differently, and it feels like a lot more work, which I'm not afraid of. That was the thing we talked about briefly before we went on, which is the so much more work involved compared to the acting.
Yeah. Well, acting can involve research and a lot of work, but I'm doing some episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm right now, and boy, is that a fun day of there's no preparation. You know, he writes a wonderful outline, and then the rest of it is you just show up and try to be loose, and it's definitely in contrast to the screenplay I've been working on. There's a particular, I don't know if you have, there's a particular kind of when you spend an entire day writing, it's the grossest feeling in the world of like, you've been sitting so long, my writing outfits are terrible because they have to be so comfortable. Like Peter comes home, like the hair on top of the head and the glasses and the bleary expression, like it's a certain kind of effort that it's just such a different feeling than being out, having your day or, being out working
Not
as an
caring
actor.
about anything.
Well, yeah.
Getting lost in the vacuum.
Getting lost. And I
write in a tux.
Okay.
So that's where we differ slightly. No topic. I'll put the hat on the chair next.
I'm like, what? I want a more attractive treadmill desk because the sitting is just, I can't stand it, but.
I saw my first treadmill desk yesterday. I went to a friend's office and he had a treadmill desk and I made fun of him for 11 minutes. And then I went, oh, yeah, no, that does make sense.
It makes complete sense.
If you're going to put in the hours of writing something.
But I can't imagine this while walking. I don't know. Can you? Yeah, I don't know.
I think you would train yourself to do it, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a terrible multitasker, so I couldn't imagine myself doing it. I can't do it.
I think the treadmill desk is really when you're on the phone.
Right.
I don't think it's necessarily for the writing.
Right. Yeah.
In his office there.
It's just so unattractive. I just don't want one in the house.
That's how I am
not
with the
from a
massage
decor
chair.
standpoint. It's how about a massage chair treadmill desk combo? Then you just might as well open a Brookstone.
I have seen that Relax the Back has a massage chair that has like a desk arm that comes out. So
yeah, because this is easy to do also.
I can't, I've tried that. That does not work either.
I can't even read.
Yeah.
No.
When I'm in the damn. Yeah. Same discussion in Somalia right now. Weirdly. This one more quote about Dad
Okay.
that I really, really loved. You once said of him, when my dad and stepmom would go to their lake house in a small, modest town, he'd say, "Don't wash the car. We don't want to look fancy."
Right.
That's the greatest thing ever.
Well, that also is a very sort of that's so my dad. Like, my dad doesn't want anybody else to feel bad about anything.
Right.
You know, to the degree that
From his doing, especially.
yes, that somehow his nice car would make the other residents of this town, you know, feel bad. Like, he wants to be a local, and this is a place that the family's been going for a long time. And his dad actually used to have a summer camp on this lake, so it is a place the family's been coming. They love it there.
His dad owned or ran
a summer. His dad was an athletic director, like a high school coach, and then in the summers would run this camp. And my dad and his brothers worked at the camp, and then eventually the camp was sold. But we still have this like little cabin on this lake, and so it's just a meaningful place. But the town has struggled over the years. A couple of factories went out of business, and so anyway,
Wow.
yeah, my dad doesn't want anybody to feel too bad.
No.
No. So yeah, he keeps the car dirty.
That's pretty. I love that to death. You also once said, there are things that I'm good at, and there are things that are just not for me. I'm not going to play a cop. And that's okay.
Just stop, hold it.
If I may,
don't, I'll shoot.
I would like to test that theory. I have 2 pages that I've printed out
I'm so bad at it.
from the screenplay that I'm going to direct hopefully
Oh,
in
good,
the
I
late
can't
spring,
wait.
early summer.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yep. And I've circled your part.
Okay, good.
Yep, this is a
My name's Franklin? All right.
No.
I mean, okay, no, don't
Yeah,
tell. Oh, no, you're Franklin.
yes,
You're Franklin.
I'm Franklin.
Wait, I'm Larry.
This is a cold reading.
That's my dad's name. That doesn't even.
Whoa!
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Oh.
You are
Right.
the first female character in a film named Larry.
Okay.
And no, this
Wow.
is literally 2 pages. It's a cold read. I'll let you go
Okay.
through it once.
All right.
I'll let you read through it once to yourself.
Why? It's fine. I'll do it.
Okay, yeah?
Let's just do it. Yeah.
Okay. Interior of Franklin's office, late night. At his desk, Franklin's overworked eyes are illuminated by the glow from his computer. Music slowly builds as he leans forward, eyes widening. Camera inches towards him. Haunting music inches up.
Franklin.
Jesus, Larry.
Wow.
What do you want?
Sorry, you little girl.
Come on, I'm working. What? What is it?
Can't even do it. Just thought you might want to know that there's somebody over in county lockup who's been asking to talk to you.
Was it a young woman
I
named
mean,
Helen?
like the 50s? What? No, I can't.
You know what? Let's judge it when you're doing
Okay, I can't even get through
Judge
it.
it while you're doing it.
No, actually, the perp was described to me as a stupid rich prick. Now, maybe it's just me, but prick is usually applied to the male of the species.
A name. Did you get a name?
Hey, don't bite my head off because you just pissed yourself. His name is Pittman, all right? Happy now?
I just might be. Now, if I may, I have notes, but we're not in trouble here. We're not in a bad area.
No, it's terrible. It's so bad. And I also can't be doctors. I tried. I got offered this doctor show, and for a minute, like a couple years ago, and I was like, come on, guys. Yeah, I could be a very convincing. I mean, House is a kind of wacky doctor. Like, I can do it. And I sat down with like a group of friends, trying my very best at the table, and everyone
how'd
was
that
like,
go?
everyone was like, no, don't do that. No.
So is it just a person of authority?
It is language that is informational. Like I view most things through a somewhat humorous lens, and
I mean, exposition is always a bitch to have to say.
Yes, but I think it's living in a humorless world
Sure.
that would be very difficult because it's just as it is. I'm always like, mug. What's the deal? Like, I don't know. I'm always sort of like. Sincerely, I had this wonderful acting teacher, Wynn Hanman, in New York, and he would give us different kinds of material, and his basic kind of teaching was you have to have a feel for something, whatever that is, the language, the emotion, the story, the person. It's and it is not a failing as an actor to not have a feel for something. It's just not for you. So that's kind of where that thing came from. It was a kind of a freeing idea that yes, my initial dream was to be part of this resident company we had in DC, the Arena Stage, and we would go see anything they did, and it was kind of this fascinating, you'd see a guy play, very different characters over time, and that's what I thought I wanted to do. And to some degree, I've gotten to play a range, but yeah, just when it comes to certain worlds I don't want to live in, too. I don't want to live in
So David Kelly calls. You're going to be the lead prosecutor in a new show. You get the script and you're like, oh no.
Well, but David Kelly stuff to me has such a good sense of humor, and those are very full people. I think I mean more the straight up world of like a Law and Order or something, which is also a wonderful, fantastic show. I just think I'd be terrible on it.
Let's go to the clip.
Dick Wolf on the line.
Dun dun.
That's right. We have another segment on the show. First, but before we get that, you know what? I do want to talk about the book. So,
okay.
A collection of essays. Mm-hmm. They differ from short stories because
they're nonfiction.
Right. And tell me the process, because you had a novel come out in 2014. Mm-hmm. That is a fiction, a story that you drew a little bit because it's about an actress. Mm-hmm. And then, according to the research, it's mostly fictionalized and just made up, as much as people wanted to insist that you've shared so much of your salad days. So the turn to nonfiction becomes a completely different...
Yeah, well, it was a combination of... I just started having ideas for the novel. First came from being approached to do a memoir, or to do sort of a Mindy Kaling-y kind of book of funny essays. And at that time, I just felt I didn't want to do that. I didn't know sort of how to calibrate that in terms of revealing my personal life. I never really liked to do that very much, and so instead, I kind of found myself telling a story that I could feel objective about.
Right.
But by the time it was sort of in the air that Gilmore Girls might come back, and I thought, for whatever reason, I just thought, okay, well, the bookends of doing a show many years ago and then getting to come back and do it again, that to me gave kind of a reason for a book of essays and kind of a structure. There's only 2 essays that are about Gilmore Girls. The whole book isn't about that, but that to me was sort of an interesting framework.
Right.
And so, but the book was going to happen no matter if the show was happening or not. But then once the show was happening, they thought, oh great, we'll have the book come out. So suddenly the book I had pitched was due in like 8 months, and then Gilmore Girls was originally supposed to come out in January, and then they moved it up to Christmas, and I was like, okay, one less month to write the book, and then they moved it up to Thanksgiving. So I mean, there are pictures of me like talk about treadmill desk, like anything was a desk, it's just like I had my laptop and I'd like shove it under the couch, but they're like, and rolling, and I was like, and writing, and like it was an insane timeline to complete, but there it is.
So you're trying a new format to begin with.
Yeah.
Then the time you have to do it in starts shrinking and continues to shrink. At what point was there any enjoyment for you?
Well, I loved writing this, I have to say. It was, first of all, I was working with the same editor who I now had a shorthand with,
right.
And the kind of bite-sized chunks of writing one story, if you will, and then kind of being like, okay, I can put that away for a minute and work on another one. It just had an easier structure.
Sure.
I didn't have to worry about necessarily the whole all at once. And I just had titles of things I wanted to write about.
For example?
Judge not, lest ye be a judge on Project Runway, which was my experience, my traumatic experience, realizing too late that I did not like being a judge of anything, and that I was a complete fraud as a fashion expert of any kind, and I just, it was one of those life experiences of a supposedly fun thing I'll never do again, and so.
You were a fan of the show?
Giant fan of the show, and also I thought it might be a relatable idea, which is you think you want to do something because you enjoy it.
Careful what you wish.
You enjoy watching it,
Right.
and then in the doing of it, I thought, oh no, what I like is being home and on my couch in my like sweatpants watching this happen. I just realized I didn't have the taste for, it looks like you slipped on a banana peel and, hurt your head or whatever, like that would be a judgment of a piece of fashion. But like, I just got real
Those are some of the scariest moments, if I will, when you've made the decision, this might be fun.
Yes.
This will be good. And then you're in the middle of it.
Yes.
Cut to, and you're there thinking, how did it not cross my mind
Yeah.
how horrible this would be?
And I've had that lesson so many times, actually. And I feel in show business, there are so many things, you get asked to do these odd things that are somewhere between working as an actor and like going to an Oscar party or whatever. There's like this wide range of, and even going to the parties you think are going to be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's, so many things.
Most of show business is anticlimactic.
That's right.
Almost all of it.
That's
other
right.
than the creating.
And other than, I think, the initial incredible glow of kind of having a dream as a kid come true, in any capacity. But I had that as much having 3 lines on a sitcom, as I do being the lead of something, and being the lead of something comes with a lot more responsibility. So yeah, the kind of glow I keep thinking of like, I dreamed of doing this and now I get to do it is incredible. But
how many times a day can you say that?
Well,
to yourself?
also, yeah, and the glam part of, I remember going to something I was nominated for, and I had like just broken up with somebody. Whoever was in the car with me, representative, was like screaming into the phone about another client, and I was just like, got out of the limo. I thought, like, people are looking at this and think like, she's got it all, and I was like, I have literally nothing. Like, my dress hurts, and like I feel weird, and so. But it takes, I guess, maybe it's a luxury of getting there to realize all the external stuff is not the fun part. The fun part, like you said, is just the playing, just the being creative, and you could get paid nothing or $1 million for that. It's the same feeling, the same.
When did the idea that turned to writing and that huge switch start to formulate?
A little bit, I talk about this in the book, a little bit it just came from having the space. I had been on 11 for many, many years, just working, and kind of had a moment one day in my Parenthood trailer where I thought, there's nothing like breathing down my neck right now. I have some free time and kind of space, and so it just kind of came to me. The novel started with kind of a couple pages. I was connecting to, in that moment, that person who dreamed of sitting in a trailer one day,
Right.
And
what happened to her?
she's gone. But it was kind of I thought, what was I thinking? You know what I mean? I thought, like, how dare I think, like, there's no show business in my family. There's no actors. My mom kind of wanted to be a singer for a while, and there was a little bit of that kind of interest and talent. She was really a talented singer, but
her career was.
She really it didn't happen for her, and so it was connecting with that kind of person, and that's sort of where which is me, but it's a different, me of long ago. But that's where the writing started, and then I just found that I really liked it, and I learned a lot as I went along.
Yeah. We have a segment on the show called Famous Questions.
Uh-oh.
Which was not the case when you were here last.
Certain people in my household were laughing to themselves this morning.
Were they?
Yes, they were. Because
in this case, it was, in fact, your so-called better half.
Yes.
I don't think he even has the gumption to call himself that. Warm and funny, charming and smart, Diane Keaton said of your book in the New York Times. That just popped up on a page. You really did get ridiculously wonderful reviews from people who you must admire.
Well,
right?
Yes, and
A Charmer of a First Novel, Wall
Yeah.
Street Journal, thoroughly, hello.
Yes, it was very nice.
None of that matters.
None of that matters.
Nope, it's all
but
crap.
I will say, Diane Keaton in particular,
Yeah.
whose daughter I played in a movie, just said to me one day, I was telling her some story of something, and she said, "You should write a book." And just the permission of someone like that saying it literally put it in my mind in a way it had not existed before. And I always think about that in terms of what a tiny line there is, between. If she'd never said that,
right.
I don't know that I would have allowed the possibility, and how powerful that is, and also how we don't give ourselves permission to do, like
right.
I wouldn't have thought of it,
It's a very
but because
unique-
Diane Keaton said
Right.
it, I was like, yeah, I could do that.
She knows
yeah,
what she's talking about.
exactly. And so I don't know. I
It's
just
a very
think of that.
unique affirmation from a mentor or hero. Neither of those words would be attributed to Peter Krause. Back to your better
Whose
half.
question is?
Who has a series of questions.
no.
Let's start with the first one.
Oh boy.
You have to be stuck in an elevator for 3 hours. With either Barack Obama, Larry David, or George Clooney.
Wow. Potentially getting me in trouble with my current employer, Larry David. But I have spent a lot of time with Larry recently,
So it's enough already.
It's just I don't have. I've spent a lot of time with Larry recently. So I view this elevator stuckage. What? Anyone?
Sure.
As a
Entrapment.
pardon?
Elevator entrapment.
Entrapment.
Beautifully done.
And good alliteration.
As an opportunity.
That's why you have a head writer for a show.
And I personally, at another time, might have chosen George Clooney, who I also know a little bit, who's very smart and charming. But I am so freaked out by what's happening in our country right now. I would love a good 3 hours with Barack Obama just
to hold you. Just to hold you.
And to tell me it's going to be okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We're out of time for the other questions, but that really was nice, the way you broke that down.
Okay,
All
good.
three.
Okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't just give an answer.
No.
You had to let the others down
Well, I
gently.
give a nice short answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, as if
George
as if Larry
Clooney, who's
David's at
watching
home
now.
crying.
George,
Yeah.
get over it. Let it go. Look
She
to your
didn't
wife.
pick me.
We brought on those Who Wants to Be a Millionaire producers. Walk us through your logic.
Yeah. He's made this next question much easier for you.
Okay.
You have to give up one of these for the rest of your life. Bags, boots, or blue jeans. Let's just blow that one off. That's just funny. You don't have to answer that.
We have a joke in our house, which is you can never have too many blue jeans. It's not a great joke, but you can never
bet it
have
is
too
at
many
home.
boots or jackets
Yeah.
because the two of us have too many boots and jackets.
If you had to remove one of these islands from the Earth, it's the most original question I had to ask it. Which would be Japan, Hawaii, Manhattan, Ireland, or Nantucket?
Wow.
Yes, everyone's pulling for Nantucket, but you go ahead and choose.
I have to remove
First
one
of all,
them.
if you had to remove, let's discuss that situation.
Well, because he picked all my favorite places.
Your phone rings.
Yes.
Lauren, we didn't know who else
It's
to
Barack
turn to.
Obama. I'm calling from an elevator.
We need you to remove. He picked your 5 favorite places.
Yeah,
Japan, Hawaii, Manhattan, Ireland, and Nantucket.
I got to go Nantucket. Sorry.
Correct, continue.
Okay.
Speaking of the Peter Krause of it all, you guys met on the Parenthood?
No, we met on Caroline in the City.
Correct.
Anyone?
Also
Yes.
correct.
Thank
Leah
you.
Thompson.
Thank you.
You
Yeah.
became deeper friends on the shooting of the Parenthood
That is
television
correct,
series.
yes.
Friends first, very closer
No.
friends, and then one
No,
day,
No.
Okay.
I would say friends since Caroline,
yes.
and I knew him to be a popular gentleman.
Sure.
And
You mean among the ladies?
Yes, and as a rule, that does not. I'm not. No thanks.
Yeah, Jamie's the same way.
And-
We're only
and-
together because I'm not at all a chick magnet.
That's not true.
Oh,
So the beauty of when we were working together on Parenthood was didn't occur to me.
No.
And
it's not a possibility.
not a possibility, which is a wonderful energy to start things because you have like literally no expectation. And we went out for drinks one night and he's never left. That's basically what happened.
So really, if you had your way, he would have left. That
No,
was
just
a
mean,
takeaway
like,
for me.
It was a complete
Yes.
shot. It was like a timing thing. I guess.
I wrote this down. A bit of a gamble, though, if the show lasts longer than the relationship.
Well,
If the shooting of the series continues.
yes, right.
Dexter!
Which we've seen.
I'm sorry, I threw it in my throat.
We've seen it go all kinds of ways, and yeah, it's always a gamble. We didn't tell anybody for a long time at work.
No, you didn't.
And then when we felt like we were okay, then we told them that brother and sister were together in a
And everyone applauded.
and everyone
in
was
a very
everyone was okay.
strange, unfortunate way. Let's take this moment to thank our sponsor for today's show. And we've done that.
Okay.
Our sponsor, Ambient Noise.
When did you first read The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up? Secondary title, The Chinese Art of Decluttering. Japanese art, yeah. I prefer the Chinese.
I understand. I
Art
understand.
of decluttering
When did I
and
first read-
organizing.
I read it a couple summers ago. I read it when it came out, whichever.
Were you
whatever that was.
clutter heavy prior to that?
No, but first of all, my mom grew up in Japan. I'm obsessed with Japan. I love Japan, and there's the
It's not a Senate hearing, by the way.
I would never hurt Japan, and I don't know. I think I'm actually fairly clutter free. I just really liked the idea of less,
Yeah.
and especially you get to an age where I can't buy Peter another Ralph Lauren shirt. Like
No.
he doesn't, like you don't need any kind of. You're full up of stuff,
Right.
which is why I write about this too, which is why I'm out of the key demo because I have my car. I'm not getting a new one. I have had it for a long time. You know what I mean? Like there's when you're young and I first maybe getting settled and you need a blender and a coffee maker and certain stuff and like we don't.
I don't like
anymore.
clutter on the countertop.
I don't like clutter.
I'm going to tell you that right now.
I'm going to agree with you, and so yeah, it's just kind of the idea of can
Did someone
we
turn you on to this
do
book?
with a little less? I don't know. I don't remember. I think I was just drawn to. I judged the book by its cover.
Weirdly, that is the correct answer. I don't know. I think I was just drawn to.
Thank goodness.
Is that the wonderful background noise is coming through for you guys?
Unfortunately.
That's terrific.
What is it? It's like a car idling.
I think it's a construction truck. Or
First, I thought it was some sort of music.
Oh, it's
Oh,
closer.
that
It's getting closer.
That car has passed.
That's what happens.
What does this
when
appear to be,
there's
Kenyon?
rally.
Robots. Again, the correct answer. We are being
Drones.
attacked by robots. We'll keep you apprised as the show continues. This editor you're working with on the book, you write how many essays to begin with? Is there a number you're trying to get to?
There's a page count
Right.
that people
That's daunting.
want. Yes, when you're trying to ask them for money, meaning, if the publisher wants to charge a certain amount of money, there is a sort of page count attached to that.
It's in the 300 to 400s?
Of pages? No. Well, I believe contractually, for instance, the novel was 90,000 words, which ends up being about almost 300 pages. I can never figure out what exactly.
90,000 words doesn't sound intimidating at all.
Yeah, that's right. Oh God, believe me. But you can't look at it that way. Of course, it's just that's about the.
See, I would only
length.
look at it that way.
Right.
As I'm typing,
believe me.
I would say 89,900.
Yeah. And you have that word count, on the screen if you're using the thing I use, and that is daunting. I used to do kind of plan a day of work according to word count. I try to get to 1,000 words or 10 pages or whatever it is. I've just found that's not helpful.
No.
If I just assign myself hours of the day and release the number thing, I actually end up getting more done.
And how much coffee do you drink on average each day?
I drink just a lot of coffee anyway. But there are some days where I just go, it's like those long actor days where I just,
12.
yeah, it's really
Yeah.
the most miserable thing.
It has often been my most happy place to be lost in the story and the characters and just writing page after page, not caring about the outside world, not even really aware of the outside world.
Yeah. Well, I think you get into a concentration kind of flow, and while it is very solitary, this sounds insane, but there's a lot of people on the page who are hopefully in some way speaking to you, helping. It's the thing you said about not knowing the ending sometimes.
Right.
You're having a conversation with your characters and your situation, and sometimes they tell you where you're going, and I just find that so fascinating.
The feeling of where is this coming from?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Well, and that was the fun for me, especially when I first started writing the novel. People would ask me about the main character, who was a reflection of a time in my life, but it was just as fun to me to play her elderly agent and the dad and the boyfriend. It's like you got to play, kind of get in the mind of all the people. And
were you good right away at different voices, different behavior and personalities? That's one of the more difficult things.
Yeah.
when
No,
writing
I don't think I was
multiple
good right away at any of it. I do think I accidentally, or fortunately, given the 2 TV shows I did pretty much back to back, had had a writing school of a kind, because I know what the feeling is of performing writing and dialogue that feels really organic and feels fun or good or strong or smart, and of all those years of looking at the structure of scripts and storytelling, and I think it just kind of got in there.
Yeah. There's no question you read enough bad scripts.
Yeah.
You start to see some things you'd like to avoid.
Yes.
If we don't talk about the return of Golden Girls, we...
What?
Gilmore Girls.
Golden Girls. No.
So perfectly
Why's everyone laughing? I want to talk about the return of Golden Girls. Did you not hear about this?
Wait, are they really?
Yes. No, all new cast.
No.
They're just bringing the show back.
No.
No, I'm just trying to cover it.
But see how I was upset, because somebody will
You don't mess with
probably try to
perfection,
do
whereas
that.
Gilmore Girls you have to bring back, because we need to make some fixes. What is this like? The phone rings and it's the agent saying they want to bring the show back. After, what, 10 years?
It was
8 years?
I
8
think,
years.
yeah. Well, we'd had this conversation. It's the conversation I'd had more than any other conversation, both with people I run into in the airport,
When are
certain
they bringing
TV
it back?
critics and fans of
And
the
you just-
show, and with the creator of the show. But it started about a year and a half before we actually started filming, which was this time last year. But the year we'd gone to a festival in Texas, the Austin TV Festival, and you could just feel there was like this show has its super fans, who are fantastic and know the show so well. But you could just kind of feel it in a new way. I don't know if enough time had gone by that now there's a new generation, or, the moms who'd grown up with it are watching with their kids. I don't know. I think also it's a comforting and kind of nostalgic
Sure.
place to go. And TV had gone so like, they're zombies, they're vampires, they're it's
Well,
gone
don't be so dismissive
dark.
of the undead.
But it just had gotten so much like bigger and louder and more violent. And I think there was sort of a nostalgia for a simpler town that has like one traffic light and stuff. So the conversations were endless and had gone on forever. So the final call, which is okay, we're actually doing it, was like 4 days before we were supposed to start shooting. I mean, up until the last minute, there were still people who were not. The deal making process was quite an ordeal. It was just so many people. It's a cast of 150 people, and
Can I be honest? That's too many.
It's a lot. It's like a
For
giant.
such a small town.
It's like a Busby Berkeley musical. I know.
One traffic light, 150 people
I know.
in the cast.
Yeah. Scripts like
so
this.
everyone in town was on the show.
Everyone in town was on the show.
Right.
And I think it's important, if you bring a show back like that you bring all the townspeople back. So we did.
And okay, so there's a couple of things we do wrapping this up. First of all, I can't believe you.
Yeah. Don't keep it to yourself.
I'm fighting it.
Why?
I'm fighting it.
You can't believe I.
Moved to Idaho and stole your neighbor's barbecue.
Oh no! You have to cut that out.
Okay, so there's 3 questions for the show this is worth 1,000 points.
Oh.
Yeah.
Redeemable at.
Never you mind. Kind of.
Never you mind cafe.
Ready?
Yeah.
Caramelized onions or onion rings?
Caramelized. Is that correct?
It is.
Okay.
Second question, Keith?
Sure.
Also correct. Final question, cauliflower or Carl Weathers?
I don't know who Carl Weathers is. Is he a football player?
Sure.
I don't like cauliflower.
You don't like
I'll
cauliflower?
go with anything that's not cauliflower.
So you didn't see the Rocky films? The Sylvester Stallone?
I love Sylvester Stallone.
Golden Girls coming back. Don't know if you heard that.
Yeah. I'm playing Maud. What's her name?
Not Blanche.
No.
No, it's Dorothy
Dorothy.
Spornak. Dorothy Spornak.
But who's the wonderful actress who plays her?
B. Arthur.
Oh,
Beatrice
B.
Arthur.
People are going to be so mad at me.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they
Honestly,
are.
our fans will be more angry that you don't know Carl Weathers.
Really? Who is that?
He was Apollo Creed in the Rocky films.
Okay.
All right.
We're no
He
closer
also
to
played himself on Arrested Development.
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
But I chose him over cauliflower.
You
so
did.
How mad
It was an
can they
easy
be?
choice.
How mad could he be? You chose him over something that you don't like. Yeah. That is your camera there.
Wow.
We're just going to need one last throw at the Larry King game. Do you remember the Larry King game? So much fun to play.
Yeah.
So the 3 breakdown rules are, need a bad Larry King. Don't want a good one. A bad Larry King makes
Oh,
me
wow.
laugh. So you can't lose there.
Oh boy.
You just do anything.
Remember this. Yeah,
You just
yeah.
do anything.
Right. Okay.
And then as Larry, you look down the barrel of that camera and you
Yeah.
share something about Larry that nobody needs to know. Yeah, that was
okay.
Larry's favorite thing in life. And then you go to the phones, and if the name of the city is funny sounding, it's not going to hurt anyone. Someplace near Nantucket, I suppose. There it is.
Okay.
You can use glasses if you'd like.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm Larry King.
Sure.
And I need a pedicure. Ronkonkoma, you're up next.
Bring it home. Bing, bang, zoom. Wow.
I gotta, of all the bad Larry King,
Yeah.
that's my favorite bad.
It was just Jewy enough.
Perfect.
There it is. Get yourself a copy, won't you? Still available in all forms. Did you record the audio version?
I did.
She
yes.
did.
They chose me to play myself.
Talking as fast as I can is the name of the collection of essays. Please check it out. And the novel as well, titled
Someday maybe.
Also True. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
for
Kevin.
returning
Nice to see you.
to the show. And don't worry about the Carl Weathers thing.
I am worried about it now, obviously. I'll never forget him again.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Would you mind staying there uncomfortably while I wrap things up for the
Sure.
folks at home and everybody else?
Fine.
Okay. Your Oscar pick, by the way, for Best Picture?
I want to go Hidden Figures.
Sure. And a personal favorite.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The underdog.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I also haven't seen La La Land, so I don't know.
Well,
I'm still hoping for Moonlight, man.
are
Oh,
you?
Moonlight. Wow, Moonlight. Boy, either
Yeah.
way.
So
Moonlight's
when it comes to
incredible.
the actual voting, we should not send you.
Very suggestible.
you about.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah. That's your show for today. I want to thank Jamie and Sammy as always. Dr. Evil Kenny Chen on the floor. Samantha Ward with the makeup, trying to make some of us look better. Up in the crow's nest, we got the Michael Dooman and the Jason McIntyre. Luke Allen, everyone's favorite new intern, overqualified, underpaid. Brian, will we ever hear from Brian again?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Next week.
You know what? Just leave it at yeah. I don't want any of the details. Corey Levin on post. That's it for this one. Congratulations to all the Oscar winners. And for those of you who were merely nominated, get out of my face.